Hi, I'm Corey Johnson with Towleroad.com, and we are lucky to be joined today by Dave Noble, who is the director of the LGBT vote for the Obama campaign. Dave, good to be with you.
Thank you, Corey.
So we just finished up the first LGBT caucus event here. It's Monday, the first day of the Democratic Convention in Denver. And Dave, can you tell us your job as director of the LGBT vote? What are you in charge of doing for the campaign?
Well, it boils down to two things, Corey. One, making sure that our community really understands just what's at stake with this election cycle and how much John McCain promises to govern like the last two terms of George Bush. When it comes to every issue that is important to LGBT people, whether it's repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, whether it's repealing the Defense of Marriage Act, whether it is adoption or getting rid of these amendments in California, Arizona, and Florida, the contrast between John McCain and Barack Obama could not be starker. And we need to make sure that John McCain isn't pitched to our community as a moderate when he's not. You know, we need to remember that in 2000, George Bush also was pitched as a, quote, compassionate conservative. And people said, oh, he knows gay people, so he won't be that bad. And he's clearly been so damaging to LGBT people these last 8 years. So one, our job is to make sure that people get to know and understand Barack, make sure that people understand how he's been fighting for us since he's been in the state legislature in Illinois, and what he's going to do as president, as well as really what John McCain promises to continue of George Bush. The second thing is making sure that our Obama Pride networks all across this country are organized, mobilizing people who have been involved in elections before and who haven't, to make sure people are registering new voters. So much of this is going to come down, if you were so many states carried by just a point or two, and if we make sure that registration material updated, they're registered at their current address. It's so important we do that. A lot of us move around a lot. We need to make sure that happens, and two, just get registered in the first place. That's going to make a big difference. And then, of course, talking to our friends, our networks, our family members about what's at stake for us as LGBT people this cycle.
In 2000 and in 2004, there were a substantial number of self-identified LGBT voters who, even with the stark contrast in record between Vice President Gore and Texas Governor Bush at the time, and then Senator Kerry and President Bush, there was a substantial number of voters who are gay who voted for the Republican nominee. John McCain voted against the federal marriage amendment, but on many other issues, as you stated, he is not good for the LGBT community. How do we convince LGBT voters that they need to vote not just on LGBT issues, but issues overall, that Barack Obama is better on the issues for our community?
Well, one, I think people just need to understand where these two candidates stand on these issues. And even the federal marriage amendment we just brought up, John McCain in this election cycle has said that he would be open to signing the federal marriage amendment if certain lawsuits happen, and things change. He's already even on that issue. The one little bit of a stake in the ground that people have been trying to defend him on to LGBT people, he's already saying he'd backtrack on that. The issues are really stark. I see LGBT people really coming together around Barack Obama's campaign. People realize that in 2000, they were told that George Bush would govern compassionately, and he didn't, and they don't want to fall for that again. And I think that our job is to make sure that those people who are being tuned into this election cycle have the information they need about John McCain's positions on all of these issues. And as you said, it isn't just Don't Ask, Don't Tell and DOMA and employment non-discrimination. A lot of people don't know John McCain cast the deciding vote against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act in 1996 when he could. Or hate crimes, which John McCain has voted against time and time and time again. But beyond those issues that are so important to us, whether it's around health care, which affects our community so broadly, whether it's the kinds of judges that John McCain has promised to appoint, we need to get those stories out over the next 10 weeks.
And lastly, as your job mobilizing the vote, is it more difficult for mobilizing and identifying LGBT voters than it is, say, identifying African Americans or Hispanics or Asian Americans, other constituency groups that you can identify because you can readily tell who they are? The LGBT people, you have openly gay folks, but you have other folks that aren't openly or are comfortable identifying as gay. What's your challenge in coming up with field plans and key swing states and finding these people and getting them out? How is the Obama campaign going to do that?
Well, we need to make sure that we're not just communicating. Well, we could just communicate with Towleroad, and of course everybody's going to read that.
Please do.
But whether it's working with the LGBT press and making sure that we're getting whether it's op-eds or stories in there about these positions, whether it's building our own email list, whether it's talking to Towleroad, making sure that we're doing events in communities where LGBT people are talking to other LGBT people, and making sure that we hit all these different ways of how our community gets information and connects with each other, so that people really do understand not only hearing information from me and from the Obama campaign, but from their friends who are involved about everything that's really at stake and ways that they can get involved as well.
Thank you, Dave Noble. Dave Noble, by the way, is the former head of the National Stonewall Democrats, was their Director of Government Affairs for the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, and now is the Director of the LGBT vote for the Obama campaign. You can check out the section on the Obama website at barackobama.com, and you can find the constituency group link right there.
Pride.barackobama.com. Take you right there.
Great. I'm Corey Johnson for Towleroad.com. Thank you very much, and keep coming back to us.